Everyone says Canada is broken. That investment is fleeing, and the best days are behind us. Here's the problem with that. While you were scrolling through that narrative, 100 of the world's biggest investors were circling Canada on a map. Foreign direct investment just hit its highest level since 2007. That's not a broken country. That's a setup. Stay with me. Because the real story isn't just investment numbers. There's a trillion-dollar play happening right now that most Canadians don't even know about. And the person running it? You'd never guess. Let's look at the dominant story we've been fed for years. Investment is fleeing. We can't build anything. The rest of the world sees us as a polite joke. That's the surface-level take. And if you've been online in the last 2 years, you know it's everywhere. But that's the part people miss. That story is engineered to trigger one specific emotion: hopelessness. When you feel hopeless, you become passive. You stop looking for opportunity because you're convinced there isn't any. And that passivity? That's the entire point of the narrative. This isn't an accident. It's a pattern. The "everything is terrible" story actively shuts down your critical thinking, your ability to spot a turning point. And once that switch gets flipped, you stop asking whether the narrative is actually true. If you think about it, the evidence is right there. A TD Economics report reported that Canada's foreign direct investment was at its highest level since 2007. Not a low level, not a declining level. The highest inflow in over 15 years. Let that land for a second. When the narrative screams one thing and the capital flows in the exact opposite direction, the narrative is wrong. Money is a receipt, a vote of confidence from entities with no political allegiance and no reason to lie. Only a mandate to protect and grow wealth. So here's the question nobody's asking. Why is the smartest, coldest, most calculating capital on earth starting to look back at Canada with serious interest? It's not charity. It's a very specific calculation. And this isn't about left or right. It's about cold, hard capital flows. Mark Carney just sent out a $1 trillion invitation to rebuild the country. And if you understand why that invitation is being accepted, it changes everything. Mark Carney and the Canada Pension Plan Investment Board are hosting a summit. They're calling it Canada Inc. Sounds like sterile corporate jargon. This isn't a political rally. This is a national balance sheet being pitched to people who think in denominations of trillions. And their market niche is safety. In a world that's literally on fire, unstable governments, fractured supply chains, trade wars, boring and reliable has become a premium asset. Canada's pitch isn't exciting. That's exactly why it's working. Now, let's pause for a second on Carney himself, because you need this context. He wasn't just the governor of the Bank of Canada. He was then the governor of the Bank of England during Brexit, where he literally had to stop a G7 country's financial system from freezing overnight. That's the level we're talking about. For the past decade, he's been in the room where sovereign wealth funds from Norway and Singapore make trillion-dollar decisions. He serves as the UN Special Envoy on Climate Action and Finance. He doesn't just speak that language, he helped write the rulebook for it. And he leads GFANZ, the Glasgow Financial Alliance for Net Zero, a coalition responsible for over $130 trillion in assets. That's not political talk. That's the language of global capital itself. And his pitch isn't vague. These are specific projects. Stay with me, because these details matter. The Contrecoeur Container Terminal expansion at the Port of Montreal, a multi-billion-dollar fix for a critical global supply chain bottleneck. The McIlvenna Bay copper mine in Saskatchewan, a carbon-neutral source of what's now called the new oil for AI and electric vehicles. And sovereign AI data centers. In a country with a stable climate and, critically, a stable political environment to actually host them. When the CPPIB says Canada is cool again, that's not a feel-good slogan. That's a market diagnosis. If you're not already following the Sanity Project, now's the time. This is exactly the kind of story your algorithm isn't feeding you. Hit subscribe. We follow the capital so you can see what's actually coming. Stay with me, because the critique you've been waiting for is next. But here's where we have to be honest. An invitation to a summit isn't a signed check. So what's the real test? What actually proves this isn't just another photo op with a nice guest list and no follow-through? Here's the valid pushback, and we should hear it. Goldie Hyder at the Business Council of Canada puts it plainly. Plans and words aren't enough. We have a history of announcing big things and getting buried in our own red tape. That part's true. But here's the thing. That criticism isn't about Canada's potential. It's a mechanical critique. The red flag isn't the country or its resources. It's the speed of our own machinery. Those are very different problems, and conflating them is how the doom narrative sneaks back in. Carney's answer isn't another speech. It's a new major projects office and a streamlined approvals process. The real test isn't the summit guest list. It's whether the Contrecoeur port or the Saskatchewan mine gets shovels in the ground significantly faster than a comparable project would have 5 years ago. That's it. That's the only number that matters. This shifts your role completely. Move from passive consumer of outrage to active observer of execution. Don't watch the political theater. Watch the project timelines. Those are the only receipts that matter, and they'll tell you everything you need to know. The investors in that room aren't there for promises. They're there to see if the machinery of government can finally align with the massive opportunity sitting in plain sight. Their trillion-dollar wager is that it can. And that matters, because the question has changed. It's no longer, is Canada good? It's, can Canada execute? For the first time in a long time, the world's most cautious capital is leaning toward yes. Our stability is the most valuable thing we can offer a volatile world. While everyone's screaming about decline, the receipts tell a different story. The money doesn't lie. It never does. Follow for more fact checks that cut through the noise. And for the deeper analysis, the stuff we can't always fit into an episode, head to thesanity.org. We'll see you on the other side of the noise.
If you want more facts and less fear, hit subscribe. Check out the next breakdown wherever you're listening or watching. Stay sane, Canada.